Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the battery on this 13-inch MacBook Pro model A1502 late 2013. So you're going to need a P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screwdriver, as well as a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. Alright, we're going to remove all the screws from the bottom. It's very important, keep them in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put the flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove it. So as you can see, there's this rectangle. So I just put them in that rectangle shape on my desk. All right. So I'm going to take those out and put those. All right. Okay. Continue removing all the screws. If these videos help you, please like, subscribe, share my channel with others, help them find so that other people can fix their devices as well. All right. And yep. Also consider donating to the channel if you can, or contributing. I am doing these repairs right now with a broken clavicle. I did find ways to kind of maneuver my arm a little bit better so that it's not so painful. But yeah, keep that in mind. If I'm doing this with a broken collarbone, then you guys should be able to do this no problem. Alright, just make sure to follow the steps carefully and don't skip over anything. You can fast forward through like the screw removal and stuff like that, but sometimes I mention things that I kind of forget to say while I'm actually doing the important parts. Anyways, we got all those screws out, 4 along the bottom, 4 along the top, and then 1 on each side. After that, you can pop the cover off, just pull it up like this. There are some clips, so you kind of have to wiggle it to pull it, and that's pretty gross. So I'm going to actually clean this up, and I will be back. Alright, I'm going to use a toothbrush, scrub it off, and then I have an electric air blower that I use to blow off all the loose dust. Alright, I'll be back in a bit. Alright, I'm back. So it looks like they actually spilled some milk or something in here at one point. It's kind of dried on there. I'm gonna leave that because if I were to do a complete cleaning, I would have to charge extra, and it shouldn't really affect the computer, so we'll just leave it as is. Alright, so once you get this open, if you didn't already, of course you want to make sure that your MacBook was turned off completely. Alright, anyways, then we're gonna disconnect the battery here. Let's see if I can lift this in a way that's not gonna hurt. Let me zoom in. Okay, so lift this up. Here you can see that the battery connects right there, and you want to pull on the part where it's the upper layer here, and we're going to pull this out. All right, so I'm going to lay this down so it's easier for me to pull it up. Just like this, grab both edges of the battery connector and then pull it up just like that. All right, there we go. So first thing, now we're going to switch to the T5 screwdriver. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay. Alright, so we're going to remove these speakers to make it a little bit easier to work on. There's 3 screws on each side, on each speaker. And you do want to keep the screws in order again because they are different size, shape, and lengths. Okay. So we'll take out these 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll do this on both sides. Okay, just like that. And we'll remove the other 3 screws here. Alright, 1, 2, and 3. Alright, once we got all those out, this speaker we're going to leave connected. We're just going to move it out of the way. And this speaker we're actually going to remove completely. So to remove the speaker, to disconnect it, I just get underneath this connector. You want to get as close as you can. One thing I forgot to show, after you disconnect the battery, open up the screen and then press and hold the power button for 10 to 15 seconds. This will drain any power from the board to make the risk of damaging the motherboard and things like that a lot less likely. All right. Hold that about 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. Right, then you can go ahead and close this. And you can actually see this battery's kind of weird. Well, I don't know if you can tell in the video because it's not 3D. But these packs are kind of like bulged out a lot. They're supposed to be equal in height, but these are much taller. All right, anyways, we're going to remove this battery screw as well. There's one screw here holding down this battery board. Okay, I'm actually going to be working on like 3 of these battery replacements within the next like day or 2. Okay, here you can see the RAM is actually soldered to the board, and then you also got the SSD right here. I do have videos where I completely disassemble the whole thing, so if you're looking for that, check those videos, but this one, the customer just wants me to replace the battery, and that's what I'm doing. Alright, so again, the speaker's here. If you want, you can lift the speaker out first to make it a little bit easier, so lift this up, and then you gotta slide it over because this metal part here is on top of the cable. Once you do that, you can kind of lift this up slightly. I'm gonna have to use my left hand because my right arm I can't reach that far out. And then what I do is I slide my fingernail as close as I can, or as far to this plastic connector as I can, and then I just pull up on it like that. You can do that also with a plastic pry tool, of course. I just use my fingernails because it's easier than having to get a bunch of different tools and switch back and forth when I already have them on my hands. Alright, and I'm going to clean the dust off this speaker. Alright, so there we go. We got the speaker there. We're going to set that aside. Alright, and then the other speaker, again, we're not going to disconnect the cable, but we are going to lift it out just like the other one. Okay, same thing, you just pull this up. I don't know why it's stuck. It might be the milk dried up under there, but this speaker is kind of being a pain to remove. Ow, it's kind of hurting my shoulder as well, but if it's stuck, you want to kind of slowly lift it up. You don't want to just quickly yank it. It does feel like it's stuck here somehow. Okay, yeah, I guess the milk is probably like holding on to it. Okay, so I'm slowly peeling this away, and it's peeling out this, oh no, it's peeling out the rubber seal. Normally that wouldn't happen, but it looks like the milk is causing it to be stuck there. So I'm actually not going to rip it out all the way. Let me show you what I mean. So as I lift this up, here you can see the rubber seal is under there and it's stuck. So I'm just going to lift this up slightly enough that I can get the tool underneath to remove the battery. Okay, so just like all the other ones with the glued in battery. Oh god, I can smell the rotten milk. This is not going to be, hopefully it's not going to be too strong because I don't want to throw up. But anyways, we got that. Alright, so like I was saying, let's see if I can rotate this enough to work on it. Give me a second, I need to push something on another computer. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm back. Alright, so we'll lift up the battery, or the speaker a little bit. And then I'm going to use this tool. You want a flexible tool. You don't want to use like a stiff knife or something, because if you do, you can actually poke into the battery and damage it. But anyways, we're going to get the tool under here, and then we're going to scrape underneath. Alright, so just like this. And this is a little bit difficult with one hand, but I'm just using the laptop against my body so that I don't have to use my right hand to kind of hold the computer in place. Just like this. Again, normally you can move the speaker out of the way, but because the spill glued down the kind of whatever that rubber seal, plastic foamy seal thing, I'm leaving it in place. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now that we got this one pack up, as you can see, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Same thing, just use the tool to cut through the adhesive underneath. The tool I have, this is supposed to be for like scooping pills or something at a pharmacy. I got it used actually, and I found a similar tool which is for like frosting like cupcakes or something. Like I'll show you this small spatula. So I found this. It's a bit thicker, it's still flexible, and then to make this thinner I just used a file, a metal file, and filed it down super thin. Alright, but just on the tip of it. Alright, but anyways, we're gonna do this. I'll show you with this tool, it's basically the same thing. Okay, and then do that, and we'll just cut through the adhesive. Okay, this one actually might be a little bit better because it's a little bit stiffer, but if it has to bend a lot, it's kind of an issue. So there you go. So you see this tool works as well. Okay, but anyways, I'm going to use this one just because it's a little more gentle, it's thinner, and it allows it to bend around a little bit better. Okay, this side might be a little tough. I'm rotating it this way. Okay, cutting through the adhesive this way. There we go. Okay, so now we got both these two packs out. We can move it on top of the speaker. There we go. I'm actually gonna put the screws back into the speaker so that I don't have to worry about it moving around too much. Okay, since it has that seal that's compromised. Okay. All right. Is it not lining up right? Okay. There we go. Put that last one back in as well. All right, so we got all those back in. Can lift that back up. All right, so let's go back to the other side and we'll do the same thing. Get the tool underneath. If you want, you can actually go from the other side, like here, and then that way you can scrape the whole length. It might be a little bit harder for me now because I have to press this with my body instead of my hand, but there we go, just like that. And continue through to the other. All right, same thing with the other side. You can do that if you want. Sorry, my head's getting in the way. The only thing with this side is there's a little less gap, so if your tool isn't as flexible, there's a lot more risk that you'll damage the battery pack. Okay, there we go, just like that. Okay, so now we got both those out. Now we're gonna have to scrape this one out. This one's a little bit more tricky because it's on a raised area, so if I can move this battery pack out of the way, I'll show you here. It's raised up, and that's because the trackpad, there's this metal plate that's on top. So make sure when you go to scrape out the adhesive that you get over that piece. Otherwise, you'll just hit this metal part there. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. You do wanna be careful because there is the keyboard cable here and the trackpad cable here. And if you get the tool over that way too much, you can actually cut through that cable and then you're gonna have to replace those as well. All right, ow, I'm putting my shoulder in a position that's hurting. So, okay, so now what you're going to want to do, you want to get underneath the battery pack, of course, and then we're going to do the same thing, just scrape out the adhesive. And this is hurting my shoulder, so there we go. All right, and just continue down, just like this. Again, you kind of have to raise it slightly. There we go. And just keep working your way all the way down the entire pack until all the adhesive is cut. Okay. There we go. You can kind of work your way back up and make sure it's all cut. Again, for the upper half here, you want to be careful because you don't want to cut into those cables. All right, so I'm going to leave that top piece for now. We're going to flip it over. I'm going to do the other side. Same thing, make sure you lift it slightly and cut through that adhesive there. Okay, just like this. Continue going down. Come on. This adhesive is tough. I'm gonna end up breaking my rib pushing this. Okay. Uh-oh, this is stuck and I can't really pull much with my right hand. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and cut through, cut through, cut through, cut through, cut through. All right, now we're gonna work our way towards the top. If you can actually, you don't have to cut completely through, and then you can slightly pry it up once you get done. The speaker is attached right here with some adhesive a little bit, so you want to actually separate that. Make sure that that cable isn't going to get yanked up. There we go. And let's go ahead and continue prying out this. If you want, you can kind of try and pull this up a little bit, but we are going to have to cut through the adhesive here. Okay. And this side is a lot more difficult. So it helps to you can kind of lift it up and see. If you have two, you can actually lift this up and then use the other one to cut, but I usually will just do this with one. Okay, just like that. Okay, and again, you want to be very careful with the keyboard and trackpad cables on the other side. Okay, get back over, same thing, slowly work our way up towards the trackpad and keyboard cable area. And then this, we might have to actually rotate it and cut it through this way. Okay, just like that, and be careful not to cut the cables there. It's very close to hitting that keyboard cable, so I have to be very careful. It helps to kind of go there and then slide it over. So I'm sliding it over instead of pushing it down towards, okay? And there we go. We got the whole battery out. Be careful not to let the wires flip and bend too much, because then it can actually burst into flames. I don't know. I never had that happen, but I've heard people tell me horror stories. So here you can see the keyboard cable here, trackpad cable here. So if you jab into there, you can actually damage these, and then you're going to have to replace the whole keyboard assembly. The trackpad you can actually take out if you break that, and you can replace that cable. But the keyboard is a real big pain to replace, so most likely you'll end up having to replace the whole keyboard assembly. Alright, so anyways, let's try and peel this adhesive stuff up. Get underneath it with that tool and peel it off. Okay, good thing this adhesive kind of peels up, it doesn't just shred. Though I am going to have to use quite a bit of isopropyl rubbing alcohol to clean off the residue, just like most of the other models. Okay, just like that. We're going to peel off all this stuff. If you want, you can fast forward through this part. It's basically all the same. I'm just going to keep scraping this stuff out and then peeling it up. Okay, some people get mad that I don't edit all this out, but I kind of want to leave it in there just to show how much work it is to do, and also to give you an idea of how much time you'll actually be spending doing this kind of thing. Alright, there you go. Okay, oops, I almost dropped my tool. There we go, scrape that up. Okay, and then peel that up. Go. Go ahead and move to the other side. Get a piece of it up and then slowly peel it. You don't want to yank it too fast, otherwise it'll just shred. Okay. Just keep slowly peeling this stuff up. Alright. That didn't work well. Scraping it up doesn't really work as well. When you peel it off, you can get most of the residue up with the sticker. If you just scrape it off, usually it ends up with a little bit of the residue there, and it's kind of difficult to clean it off. So try and peel up as much as you can, so that way there's less cleanup afterwards. Alright. The speaker's a little bit in the way, but can't really be helped. Alright, because I don't want to get that thing all screwed up if I peel it all out. There we go. Okay, the rest shouldn't be as blocked by the speaker. And I have like 2 or 3 more of these that I have to do tomorrow, assuming the customers actually show up. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we've got all the side ones out. Now to remove the middle one. Okay. Let's see, scrape that. Good, they didn't use the weird adhesive that just shreds to pieces, so actually, kind of tore it too easily. Hopefully it's not going to keep tearing. Okay, peel it slowly. Just like this. Oh, that's all going to shred. Yep. It's all shredded over here, so it's going to be a kind of a pain to remove. Alright. So this bit's not shredded. Go. It's a little bit easier to see what's left adhesive wise on the camera than in person because of the lighting direction. There we go. It's just shredding to bits. Oh man. It's peeling okay. Throw this stuff away. Alright. Go. Almost there, and then we're gonna have to clean up all the adhesive residue and put in the new battery. Alright, last bit. Okay, so let's go clean up the adhesive residue and then put in the new battery. So to clean up the adhesive residue, you just get some paper towel, fold it up, get some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. I use 91% for this, and then I just pour it on the paper towel, get it pretty soaked up. Okay. Alright, and then what you do, just rub it on the residue areas. Okay, you want to get it somewhat saturated, so that way when we go to scrape it up, it will scrape up the adhesive a lot easier. Okay, just get the adhesive all wet with the rubbing alcohol. Okay. As you can, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but the adhesive starts turning more white as it gets soaked with the rubbing alcohol. And then we'll take the scraping tool and we'll scrape it up again. Here you can see how easy it's coming out now. Okay, coming a lot easier. Oh, it's gross, it's sticking in my hand. So I'm gonna have to use another paper towel most likely, but as you can see, it's all scraping up. This side of the adhesive didn't absorb much, so I'm gonna have to put a lot more rubbing alcohol in there. And then I'll scrape up this stuff. Same thing with this side. Oh, what is it getting caught on? Okay, scrape up all that adhesive. what we're doing is we're scraping off the outer layer, so that way when the rubbing alcohol gets to it, it will help dissolve it a lot easier. Okay. Alright, so all the adhesive is kind of stuck in this paper towel, so what we're going to do, we're going to flip it over. There's still a bunch of rubbing alcohol on there, so we're going to use the same one and continue wiping it up. So here you can see it's, I don't know in the camera if it's coming out that way, but the adhesive turns more white as it absorbs the rubbing alcohol. Okay, we're going to just continue wetting the adhesive. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and scrape it up again. You can see it's scraped off so much easier. Okay, there we go. Let's clean that off. Oh, it's kind of a gunky ball now. There we go. Continue cleaning it up. We're going to switch to a new paper towel soon. Okay, throw that away. Go ahead and scrape up some more, whatever you can. If anyone's wondering what this tool is, it's just called a plastic razor blade. Makes things a lot easier. Helps with removing stickers and other stuff as well. Alright, same thing, get another paper towel. Alright, load it up with more rubbing alcohol. You might need a new bottle of that stuff soon. And we'll just wipe up all the adhesive again. Okay. Some of the adhesive is a little stubborn, so you might have to just keep wiping it with the rubbing alcohol, and eventually it will clear up the residue if it doesn't scrape off with the razor blade. Okay, you can see the residue is turning more pale again. Let's go ahead and scrape that up. There we go. Just get as much as you can out. It's going to be really difficult to get it completely 100% clean, but whatever you can, just get it out. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's flip this over and we'll just give it one last wipe down. And then we'll get a clean one and try and get out as much of this gross milky residue that we can. Alright, as you can see, it leaves behind like a milky residue now. At least I think you can. Okay, one more time with a tiny bit now, not too much. Alright, let's clean this off. You want to be careful with the cables here, you don't want to damage them. Okay, there we go. Cleaned up for the most part. Okay, now we're going to get the replacement battery here, and we're going to install it in place. Alright, replacement battery. So here's the replacement battery. They put their label, the company label. If you're trying to look for original Apple parts, the only way you can get that is through Apple, or you can buy like a used pulled cover here. Okay, so we're gonna line this stuff back up, make sure everything lines up properly. Okay, and of course the battery needs to go under the speaker, so when you go to put this, you have to tilt it slightly. Alright, or make sure the speakers are out of the way. Alright, so let's peel this layer off. Okay, we're going to angle this. You want to check these points, make sure they line up with the little holes there. Alright, so we're going to slide that part back in, get that into place, get these two little things in, slowly drop it down. Okay. That into place. There we go. Alright, you don't want to smash it all down yet because you want to make sure everything fits. Make sure to get the screw into this spot for the battery first. Okay. Fits. Okay, it did line up. There we go. Make sure the speaker goes in. Alright, it fits. Get that connector back in. Alright, hopefully you guys were able to see that. Okay, and then line up the battery, and you can push this into place. Usually I like to start with one corner first and then work my way over to the side. There we go. Clean the dust out a little bit more. Okay, and then once you got everything in, again, make sure these are lined up right. Okay, we can take the cover and we can put that on top. We aren't going to put this yet. We're just going to test it first to make sure it turns on. Okay, and once you get everything in, you also want to do a SMC and PRAM reset. So SMC reset is Control Option Shift on the left side, and then the power button. Usually when you have it plugged in, if the charge light is orange, it will go to green and then back to orange. That's how you know you did the SMC reset right. A lot of people ask me if they have to do this. It takes like 1 second to physically press those keys, so just do it. It's good to do. If you want to know what it does, you can look it up online, but basically it just resets like the system settings and things like that that remember hardware components and hardware settings. Alright, now we're going to do a PRAM reset. So to do that, you power on the computer and then Command Option P and R while it's starting up. You'll hear the chime. If your computer was muted, you won't hear the chime, but you'll see the screen go off. Once the screen goes off, you can actually let go, but you'll hear the chime again, and that's how you know that you did it right. If you want, you can just keep holding it until you hear the chime twice, so even if your sound is muted, then you'll know for sure it worked. But there we go. Before it wouldn't even turn on with the battery, and now it's on. So hopefully this video helped you guys. We're going to put back the rest of the screws. Alright, I'm going to wait for it to completely boot up just to make sure everything looks okay. Make sure the trackpad's working. It looks like their trackpad actually has some issue too. Okay, it clicks, but it doesn't make the click feeling. So I think they actually damaged the trackpad on this one. And this one, it's a physical click button. So I think maybe when they spilled on it, it actually damaged the little clicking button here. But at least it works. It just doesn't have the clicking feeling. Okay. So anyways, the trackpads on these aren't too bad to replace. If you're replacing the battery and you want to replace the trackpad as well, that's a good time to do it. Because other than that, you're going to have to peel all the adhesive out from the thing just to get to the trackpad. The trackpad, to remove it, there's that gray metal plate. You have to remove that to get the trackpad out. Alright, anyways, that's all the screws that we put back for the speakers. Let's go ahead and peel off this clear layer here. So to peel this clear layer off, you want to actually roll the adhesive off. Okay, so what you do is you peel it back and you roll it. You don't want to pull it straight up because then it can pull layers of the battery up, which you don't want to do. Otherwise it can form like bubbles that can cause the battery to go bad sooner. Alright, so I just roll this adhesive off, just like that. There we go. And also it makes sure that I push down all the adhesive for all these battery packs. Okay, there we go. Put the bottom cover back on, and then we're going to put back all the screws. Alright. The clips don't really engage right now, but that's fine. All the screws will hold it into place. Switch back to the P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screwdriver. Okay, and put those all back in. And that's pretty much all there is to this. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, again, please like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can also fix their devices. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the video while I put in the rest of these screws. Oops, let me zoom out a bit. But other than that, pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Probably going to be doing another 2 of these over the next day or 2. So, yeah. But they are, I mean, they are different year models, but they're basically the same battery replacement wise. I think this is the 2013, and then I think tomorrow I have a 2014 and 2015 one, but I think they're all about the same. So anyways, yep, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Alright, bye guys. And drop the camera down.